Hello and welcome to another video by yours truly, Mr. Matthew, aka Sugarless Fitness 88. Today's topic is
diabetes.
I wanted to talk about this for the longest time on my YouTube channel, but I literally had to plan this out because I've been a diabetic since 22 years. So I was diagnosed as a diabetic in 2000. Not only did I welcome the 21st century, but I also...
The buzz is the biggest buzzkill of my life. That's not a joke, because it is a buzzkill.
From time to time. If you're a diabetic out there and you know what I'm talking about, yeah. If not, keep watching this video and you understand completely why I think that diabetes was a buzzkill when I had it. Mind you, I was 11 years old when I came into my life. 11. I was supposed to go through puberty. I was supposed to go through all the normal stuff. Then on top of it, have diabetes. The most complicated disease that I've ever encountered in my life. Still today, I have no idea what it is. I know a little bit, but new topic changes. New things come up, new research they show, and little technology stuff they come up with. I can go into detail what I'm using right now because it's fun. So I have an insulin pump, so it's connected to my body. I change it every 3 days. Also, I have a sensor, a little flash right here, that monitors my blood sugar and tells me where my blood sugar is at, and either it tells me either I'm steady or going up or I'm dropping. And my pump, on the other hand, helps me control it by either giving me insulin to to correct my blood sugar so I don't rise up, which is a good thing because I hate having my blood sugar being high than low. Let me rephrase that. The feeling that I don't like is from low blood sugar. The mental aspect of it I don't like is when my blood sugar is high because it throws me off because you have, dry throat, you're thirsty. So, sometimes maybe you think that you're just overworking yourself, but no, your blood sugar is high. But that's a whole nother mini topic in this video. So I'm going to go into the story of how I became a diabetic. So I was 11 years old. Again, I was going through puberty and I just found out I had this disease. But I was in Florida. I was on vacation with my dad, my stepmom, my brother, visiting my grandparents. February 14, 2000, they went to the hospital there and they did some tests. And actually my grandma was like telling my father, hey, I think he's a diabetic because I was sleeping a lot. I was drinking a lot. I was, not to be really weird, but I was peeing my
a lot. Like, I was
11 years old and I
knew that I had to control my bladder because I know there's
like a certain age you pass that you stop wetting the bed. But I don't know if people still do it. I'm like, maybe on accident, yes, but I was doing this constantly and it was not good. Even to the fact that my urine crystallized. That's how much sugar was in my urine, in my body. So that was really strange to hear about. And on top of it, we went in a warmest, it was a warm a warm week we went. And it was in 90s and 100s. And I was bundled up. And my body felt like what it feels like right now. 20 degrees, 30 degrees. I'm shivering. Well, everyone's sweating their balls off. Like they're literally in a tank top and a shirt, and they're sweating. I'm over here freezing my butt off because my body was not used to it, and I guess my body was going through the changes and dealing with the diabetes on top of it. I really don't know how that assumed into everything, but I remember being cold. I think we need to take them to the hospital. Took me to the hospital. Found out I was diabetic. Had to go back home. I think it was after the third day we were on vacation, so I felt hard. Wasn't scared because I had to go back home and go to the hospital and deal with all this. I was more upset that I ruined everyone's vacation than going to the hospital. I remember getting off the plane, seeing my mom, seeing my aunt, and being like, I ruined everyone's vacation. I can't believe I did this, blah, blah. Like, I felt bad for that, not caring what was going on in my body, what was happening. I was more worried about, hey, I ruined your vacation. I'm so sorry, guys. But from there, we actually went back, and it was everyone. It was my whole aunts and uncles, cousins, and just, it was like kind of like a gift for me for me not to miss out a vacation. It was more like a vacation for all our family. It was a really great thing. It was wonderful. Totally off topic. But I remember going to the hospital, getting home, and then going to one of the hospitals, and they were doing the blood work. Scariest thing in the world. Nurse, I guess she was new, or I guess she was half awake, because it was early, it was late at night, and it was probably 11 or 12 we got there. And she stuck me with a needle, get the IV, and she pulled out the needle, and gushes of blood was coming out. And I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to happen. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I'm thinking to myself, of course it's a bad thing. What person has
blood gushing out of
needle? But yeah, we were in a hospital that didn't really specialize in diabetes. I think they had a really small unit of it, so we went to a different hospital known for their diabetes research, their doctors. So I went there. I was in the hospital days or a week. I'm not really sure. I always forget because I don't like hospitals. Haven't liked hospitals since I was young, since I was in the hospital and was out even if I had to go in to see someone to visit them, I hate hospitals. I just don't like the vibe. It just feels like very scary and creepy, and like it just feels like death is around the corner. Not to say that everyone dies in a hospital, but that's just the feel I get when I'm in the hospital, and especially when if you have a crazy person next to you, or not like a crazy person, but a person who's in pain and they don't know how to deal with it, so they have to like try to think of other things of what to distract them with. But I remember being in the hospital for like 7 days. I know it's either 6 or 7. I don't know. My mom can probably vouch for it. Maybe it's 5. I'm not sure. But interesting experience. And the only thing I can remember is like being in like a room, laying down on a metal bed, and this nurse is like kind of like taking blood or something. I'm pretty sure this was a dream, or maybe I was abducted by aliens, because I tell my parents this, and they're like, they did not take me into a room. You must be dreaming. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they took me in a room, laid me on a metal bed, and they were like picking at me by like trying to figure out what's going on. But I could be wrong. Maybe I had a dream. Maybe I was abducted by aliens when I was in the hospital. I don't know. But another funny story is I was called the Lemonade Man, Lemonade Boy. If you don't know the reference, I will let you know. I don't know if any of you guys been in the hospital, or if you've seen someone in the hospital, or had family members or friends. Sometimes you have to pee in a little like plastic thing. So I remember walking to the bathroom and peeing, and then coming out and walking back to my room with the jug of pee. So they would call me the Lemonade Boy, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I was like, that's interesting. And that pop up in my head. I apologize, but like, it's been 22 years ago that happened, but things pop in my head about so many memories. I remember the first time I was allowed to take a shower. That was the best feeling. I think it was after the third day I was in the hospital. Yes, I sound disgusting by saying I didn't take a shower for 3 days, but they had me hooked up an IV. I was in bed. I wasn't really doing anything. But I remember when they said, okay, we can give you, so you can take a bath, so we'll wrap your arm up, because the IV and all that stuff. Literally felt like the best shower, even though it was in a hospital. Still, it felt so good to take a shower after 3 days. But yeah, 22 years ago I was in a hospital. Well, not exactly today, but February 14th, the week after, in 2000, I was in a hospital figuring out I had diabetes, and trying to figure out what I had to do to control it. Having my parents with me, figuring out that too, and practicing taking shots on an apple or an orange. No, it was orange, because apples were really hard to, prick the, put the needle through in. That was fun. But yeah, that was the beginning story of my diabetes. I want to talk to you about three scary moments that I've had since I had diabetes. I remember one time I went to the diner with my mom, and you know, we were talking and I was feeling good. Like I didn't feel low, I didn't feel high. I was just feeling normal, I was feeling good. Test my blood sugar is like 25, and as soon as I saw that number, I panicked, and that's when I felt the low, and I've never felt that low in the 22 years of my life for that one moment. Scariest feeling, literally could feel like you passed out. Someone, when that happened, my mom was like, waiter, please get me Coca-Cola. So she bought 3 Coca-Colas, down 3 Coca-Colas within like 5 minutes. And maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, I was kind of getting my energy back and I was kind of feeling normal and like feeling better. But that was one of the scariest moments, the fact of like me not feeling okay and feeling good and just not feeling low or high, and then seeing that number sparked fear in me and I flipped out. That was probably when I was 8, so it was 8 years into having diabetes. So it was a little bit later on, but early in my early stages. I'm still weird. I'm still weird. Of course I'm still weird. I'm still shocked that it's been 22 years, almost 23 in February, years that I've had diabetes. It just feels like it was yesterday. It just feels weird. Like yesterday I was in the hospital. Yesterday I was at Florida. Yesterday I was figuring out I had diabetes and how to control it, and you know, take insulin and carb count and corrections of blood sugar. That still has been a little hard for me to learn, and I learned a lot by my pump, my sensor, and a lot of the technologies have come out over time that I tried with. Like I tried the pump before, I tried this thing where we put it was like a meter that dilated my blood sugar. I don't know what it was, but I think I did it once every 5 years, which is like, it like calculate. Oh my god, maybe I was a test subject for that. Maybe that was a test. I had this big thing on my stomach or something, or my arm, whatever it was, for maybe like a week, and it just calculated my blood sugars, and it sent the technology, they send the information to my doctor, so they kind of recorded it. Wow, maybe I was the first test dummy for the Dexcom. I don't know, maybe. But sorry, another thing that scares me. I have the ability to dream and wake up. Well, of course, we all have the ability to dream. I have the ability when I'm dreaming or I'm sleeping, my blood sugar actually wakes me up. And a lot of people I know, especially at the camp that I went to for kids with the type 1 diabetes and diabetes itself, this kid used to sleep through low blood sugar, and they had to literally call the nurse, and the nurse would just jet from the nurse's office to the cabin, and they would have to wake him up and give him juice. But I was blessed with the ability to wake up when my blood sugar was low. Like I remember having a dream. I was at my dad's house. I actually was at my dad's house. I was house sitting at the time, and I took a nap. I took a nap in my old bed, and I remember myself walking to the bed, and there was nobody in there, but then shaking the bed, saying, "Wake up, wake up!" And I woke up in another dream. So then all of a sudden, my bed started shaking. It was like, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up!" And I woke up. My blood sugar was 45. So I think I've had a hidden ability by waking myself up when I'm low, which I don't think a lot of diabetics have that ability. Hopefully you do, because it's a blessing. I'm hungry. And number 3 is every time my blood sugar meter says high, like HI, like high, it means it's over 600. So my blood sugar is 600 or more. That used to scare me, and then having to give my insulin and trying to bring it down, but it still says high, so we had to go to the hospital. I've only been in the hospital for the 22 years for any high blood sugar related problems. Other than that, I've been in the hospital for like just normal stuff like the flu and, you know, the basic stuff we go to the hospital for. Food poisoning. But yeah, that's just another 3 things that scared the shit out of me as a diabetic, or scared the shit out of me when I was a diabetic. But lessons that I've learned. 5 things I learned. Patience is the key to controlling your blood sugar. 2, you are not invincible just because you take your insulin. 3, mental and physical health are super important in diabetes. Even without diabetes, they're super important too. And 4, always be prepared for anything that can happen. Have a juice on you, have your insulin on you, anything, have food on you just in case your blood sugar drops. Or if you're high, take your insulin and stuff like that. That's one thing that I always prepare myself. I had to have, all right, juices or like sodas or snacks, so that way I can snack on it so my blood sugar doesn't drop. Because dropping my blood sugar literally feels like someone had probably reached into your soul and pulled it out, and you're soulless, and you had to figure out what's going on until you eat something. That's how it feels. And number 5, things come into our lives for a reason. I always say that this disease came into my life not because it was a burden, but it was a blessing. I learned to be more healthier, more conscious of my body, more conscious of my mental health and physical health, how to cope with other people, and how to be more present in the moment and being present to others and being kind to others and sharing your advice, even if you don't feel like talking to that person, but you never know whoever's struggling with whatever they have in their life. So I treat diabetes as a blessing more than a burden. Some days it was a burden, some days it's a burden, and sometimes it's not. Like some days I wish that it skipped me and went to my brother. But at the same time, I'm the kind of person who loves food. Still do. I love food a lot. It's food, me, and work. So I don't know how to put that in order, but whatever. So I always tell these people, I always tell everyone, if I didn't get diabetes, I would be that person on TV who would be moving from their bed who was 1,000 pounds. Yeah, I would be that person. But yeah, I just wanted to make a little video about my diabetes. I know that there's a lot more to cover and there's a lot more stories I can go into, but I don't want to bore you. But if you do like this video and do want to hear more of what you want to learn more about diabetes, want to learn more about me, how I deal with diabetes, how my health and how my physical health kind of plays a factor, plus my mental health. And if you're a new diabetic out there, if you're looking for some unsolicited advice and kind of like need a little guidance, but all in all, I'm not a doctor, but I can help you, put your foot in the right place. There we go. But at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to have it. Some days. Most days, yes. But all in all, I just love it. And again, I'm so happy making these videos. I know this might be a little bit longer than my previous videos. I really don't mind because it's the new week. It is 1 week away it's 6 days away from Christmas. I can't wait. Christmas is around the corner. And the next used to be New Year's. And next will be 2023. So again, I hope you're having a great December. Hoping you're having a great 2022. And I hope you're ready for 2023. And as always, peace out, Club Scouts.